Hello and welcome to EPOP Academic English 2 Writing Course Week 2. So this week we're going to look at how to interpret and describe visual information in English using paragraphs. And we're going to be looking at the following 5 ways to present information visually, which is bar charts, pie charts, tables, line graphs, and diagrams. And this is from pages 1 to 5 of the academic writing book. So I want to quickly review 3 points of grammar. The first is when we're describing amounts, we will use often fractions and ratios and percentages. So here you can see 3 different ways of describing the same amount. You have a half as a fraction, 5 out of 10 as a ratio, and 50% as a percentage. Also, you need to make sure that you know how to use percent and percentage. So as you can see here, percent often comes after a number. So 50% of people in Yangon regularly travel by bus. And a percentage comes after words like or the or this or that, and is often preceded by an adjective, in this case high. So you have a high percentage. And in both cases, they include the preposition of. The second point of grammar I want to look at is comparatives and superlatives. Again, very useful when you're describing visual information. So here are a couple of examples of comparatives. Bus travel is more popular than train travel, and it is cheaper to travel by bus than by train. And a couple of examples of superlatives. Bus travel is the most common form of transport in Yangon, and it is the cheapest way to travel. Okay, the third point of grammar is the present perfect tense. As you probably know, this describes past time until now, and it is formed by using has or have plus the verb in a past participle that's usually ending in ed, but not always. There are exceptions. So an example, I have owned a car for 5 years. So you bought the car 5 years ago. You still own the car today, so it's past time until now. Okay, so on pages 1 to 3, you'll be looking at bar charts and pie charts. And you'll notice that one of the first activities is a quick survey among your friends, and then you have to fill in a table about the kinds of activities that they enjoy. And the examples that are given are in some cases a little bit unfamiliar, like skiing. So please, if you want, you can change those, like I have here, to something more familiar, like going to the movies or something else. That's up to you. So when you create your bar chart with your survey, you should put here on the Y or vertical axis the number of people, and here on the X axis or horizontal, you should put the activities, as you can see in my example here. So for pie charts, the segments are always percentages of the whole, and together those segments represent 100%. So one of the first things you'll be asked to do is to convert this bar chart into a pie chart. So you'll need to think about how many students in total were interviewed in this survey. This is a survey about students' opinions of a film that they just watched. You need to add these together, and then you need to find out what is the percentage of the total of each of the bars here. So that's how you can then proceed to the conversion. Okay, on pages 3 to 4, you'll be looking at tables and line graphs. So for tables, you'll be looking at this table, which shows how school children in these 3 countries travel to school, walking, car, or public transport. And here's the data. And you'll be then using what you can see here to fill in the gaps with the words. So you'll see here we have a superlative, and you have percentage and percent. So you can look back at the review to see where they might be used here. Another thing that's useful to look at is how these sentences have been put together to describe this table, and you can use some of the techniques as you move forward in the module. So line graphs highlight trends. So they're showing how information or data changes over time. As you can see here, you may often use the present perfect tense describing information in line graphs. So global average temperatures have risen since 2000, past time until today. And in this case, you'll be looking at a table about car ownership in Britain, as you can see here, between about 1960 and 2010. And then on page 5, you're looking at diagrams, which are often used to illustrate a process or show how something works. And this is the diagram which is about pollution that is used in the book as the example. And you'll be taking the information provided here to fill in the gaps here using some of these words. So as you can see here, you're given a lot of words and a lot of information in the diagram, but it's also useful to come up with some of your own original work. For example, you can produce your own vocabulary, such as verbs in the active or passive tense. So there's a couple of examples. We have the active, so the factories release CO2 or carbon dioxide into the air when they burn fossil fuels. The passive form of that is that carbon dioxide, CO2, is released into the air by factories when they burn fossil fuels. So thanks so much for watching. Best of luck with week 2. Bye-bye.